All right, hey guys, we have lovely people walking the streets of Ocala. This is Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast. We are actually coming to you downtown by the Corkscrew, and I have with me a gentleman who is one of the finest in Ocala, Justin Alsedek,
Close enough.
ladies
Yeah, it works.
and gentlemen. And you hear his last name, Alsedek, which means all hands on.
All hands on deck.
All hands on deck. Justin been doing a lot of great work. I've been trying to follow his stuff. He's moving all over the space with his lovely art. Welcome, Justin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for blessing us with this opportunity to sit and chat. And I just wanted to kick things off with who is Justin? How did it all come into being with art?
Well, my parents have always were supportive when I was younger. Like, my dad would always ask, "Oh, what do you want to be?" And I remember one time I said, randomly, I don't know why, I said I want to be a photographer. So,
Okay.
he bought me a film camera, a little 35 millimeter, some film, and I was running around shooting it. I had a lot of fun with it. And then in high school, I discovered, photography in the dark rooms, and I got to shoot back when, they still shot the pictures in the yearbooks and printed them ourselves. So I was doing all that, and it was really fun. It's like,
Okay,
it felt like I
okay.
wasn't in school, so that kind of was exciting, to be in school, but be like, wow, this is school, this is fun, this is exciting. And then that led me to art college, where I discovered, I like to also paint and draw, and
Oh, what college was this?
Pennsylvania College of Art and Design.
Okay, Pennsylvania. All right, cool.
So like that
Cool.
kind of led me down the path, but I always liked to doodle, little, my brother would doodle like cartoon characters and random things, and it was always an easy class for me in school, so I took a lot of art classes and, growing up, because that was, for me, it was like, oh, this will be easy.
Yes.
And I didn't think about it as, a career or anything else. It was just like fun, something to do that wasn't stressful.
Yeah, so you saw it almost like it was a hobby.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, this class will be easy and fun and a break in the day, and won't be, not that I didn't like math and stuff, but
Right. So so you did Pennsylvania, and then what happened after you kept on growing and growing in art?
Yeah. So I went to, when I was in school, I worked at an amusement park drawing portraits. So I worked for a company for 5 years drawing pastel sketches, live portraits of people. And then after I graduated, I went to California to draw for them for what was going to be another year. I was going to continue to work for the company, but it just kind of had a relationship that kind of ended, that I was with this girl for 3 years, and that was kind of a rough ending. And then I was living with this boss that I didn't realize was part of the condition of moving to California. And we
Okay.
didn't click very well, and so I ended up getting fired / quitting and sent back to. I went back to Pennsylvania for Thanksgiving that year, and I was like kind of sitting around figuring out what to do. And then they rehired me back, but when they rehired me back in the summer, it was kind of like, I called it the bitch contract, because it was like making me do all these. I had to do all these extra things to be part of it, or like to be able to come
Okay.
back. And now I was like under her, like I had to just show up in the rain and watch the booth, even if it was raining all day, and I didn't get paid. You get paid commission, so like if I'm
Right.
sitting outside, and I just kind of realized it was easier to see that I didn't want to work there anymore.
Right.
And then also the girlfriend that left town was coming back from a college break or whatever, and I didn't want to see her that summer. So I was like, you know what, I'm quitting. I told my boss I'm quitting. I'm gonna go find myself, is what I told her. This is the
Yes.
reason. And then I got a tent, and I went to Ocean City, Maryland,
Okay.
and I camped outside of Ocean City, Maryland, and would go to the boardwalk every night and draw portraits. So I started drawing portraits for myself on the boardwalk for tips.
Wow, so you are camping out there and
Yeah, it was like 30
painting.
minutes away from the boardwalk. It was like a campsite I had stayed when we were kids. We would grow up going to Ocean City, so it was this campsite. I just rented a space for a week
Right.
just to try it out, and I was sleeping on a pile of clothes because I don't think my air mattress wasn't working. I remember it was pretty rough sleeping, but
Yeah.
I was so excited because, immediately the first night I was out there for like, maybe 4 hours drawing portraits. I made over $200, and I was like,
Oh.
this is real. Like, for that age especially,
Yeah.
I'm like only.
So at what age you are at here?
I just graduated college, so 2008 was the summer.
Okay.
So that was, I don't know how many years. I mean, how many years ago now? My brain's like, what year are we in right now?
So we are in
2022?
2022.
So 14 years ago? Wait.
Yes,
Yeah.
roughly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm like 24, 25, something like that.
Okay.
You know, and it was, I mean, like, it was great, yeah, because I was working for the other company, and after working for them 5 years, I'm still only getting like 29% commission.
Right.
So, you know, that's not very much money. When you make a company like $1,000, I have to make them $1,000 before I'm making the kind of money that I even can make on the streets drawing for tips, you know,
Yeah.
and having freedom. So it was really exciting, and I remember being worried that I was going to get in trouble, because it's kind of riding a gray line, you know, like to be on the boardwalk with my permit. The way I had the permit was you had to be doing something, you had to be performing. You couldn't be like selling, like I couldn't go there and sell prints or t-shirts and things. They wanted a live act. So I was kind of riding the gray line of like, well, I have a product that I'm creating live. You know, because they have like jugglers, they have magicians, musicians. So it's kind of more of a buskers thing.
Oh,
so
okay,
I was busking, so to speak, and you weren't allowed to put a price. So I was like,
Oh.
I kept waiting for the day where, you know, the cops would come by and I was like, you know, being a little sly, but like, you know, I usually get, like, it's for generous donations, and usually people give me about $10 to $20
Right.
is what I would say for a face. And,
Right.
you know, so I was kind of saying a price, but I wasn't. So, but you know, you're worried at that point because you're not sure, and you like finally found this. I was excited. So, but you know, it went well, and the whole summer I spent the whole summer there. Every day I'd be out there every night from like 5 to midnight. A lot of times just hustling up and saving. So then I went back home and Pennsylvania and just, you know, lived off of what I saved all summer and didn't work. Just painted in my attic and learned how to cook some things, played music, just had a really good winter.
So would you say that period you would have been establishing and growing in your work during that time because you are focused on painting, you're doing a lot of painting?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of big oil paintings.
Learning new stuff?
Yeah, I was reading a lot. I was really isolated to some extent because you know, all my other friends are working during the day. We get together like in the evenings or whatever, like my roommates or whatever would be working all day, and then that would be my time. I'd be, like I said, just cooking something, working in the attic studio. I had this really cold.
Yeah, he wants to play.
No, the ukulele wants to play. I'd be in the attic painting, and it was really cold because it's Pennsylvania, and we had this big drafty house. So it was really, really cold winter. And I remember it was just kind of sad because one, you know, the girl I was telling you about that I had been with 3 years was, you know, still kind of wearing on me, and I had just dated this Russian girl that I had met over Ocean City. We had this kind of like real nice summer fling, and so, but then, you know, we ended up kind of splitting ways, and I was kind of just, I don't know, I was feeling kind of alone, just painting in an attic. And if you see the series I was working on, which no one has because it never finishes, giant paintings of ex-lovers, so to speak.
Hi, Amira.
And so I'm just kind of, I don't know, feeling a little cold and lonely.
Yeah.
So to speak, but still excited and enjoying life, you know, not being on the alarm clock, waking up when I wanted to, just feeling really free, but also kind of dark and cold a little bit, I guess.
I see. So what's happening now? Let's fast forward and find out what's going on. You ended up in Ocala. How did you end up in Ocala?
So the portraits on the Ocean City, I would go back every summer. And then I met a lot of magicians, like I said, and other...
So you met a lot of magicians.
Yeah, so there was some magicians who specifically told me, hey, you know, if you're looking to work in the summer, in the wintertime, then you should head on down to Key West.
Right.
And you can work Mallory Square. So I was following the advice of a couple magicians, and they told me I can stay with them in Fort Myers until I made the jump over to, you know, like they were a stopping point, and then I ride the ferry over. And so, yeah, they led me down there because I just realized, you know, I was like, I kind of want to be able to work a winter if I want to take a summer off, because I didn't want to be stuck always going to Ocean City, Maryland. So I was like, I got to kind of figure this out. So I went down to Key West, tried Mallory Square. It was the coldest winter on record for Key West that year. So it was a little rough, but I was not greeted with the financial glory that I had in Ocean City, but I had met a lot of really awesome people that just traveled all over, just a lot more like-minded folk, and just kind of really just grew a lot as far as like the desire to travel and just like explore the world. So that's when I went just wild and started doing a lot of traveling.
Beautiful.
And so that's what ended up getting me to Florida. And I always would go back every winter then. I was a snowbird. I'd work Ocean City in the summer, and then I'd go down into Key West for the winter until I met my wife.
Right.
Then we started traveling together, and then Ocean City kind of stopped happening. We would spend the summer just traveling all over because it kind of spit me away. Like, you go back to somewhere, it was time to be done with it. Like, we went together, and Ocean City just wasn't the same anymore. It wasn't
Right.
really like, it just wasn't. It wasn't good.
So you came to Ocala with
So
your
then,
wife?
well, we came to Ocala when we got multiple summers of traveling. Like, we would go on these van adventures for, like, the first one we did was 15,000 miles for 8.5 months all over the country. And we would do a bunch of those trips every summer. We'd do, like, cross country. We'd spend a lot of time in California and then come back to Florida.
Right.
And then we found out we were pregnant on one of our trips. After, we got engaged, and then we were going on our summer drive, and we found out we were in Utah when she decided she wanted to settle down and make roots,
Right.
And so she has a family.
We got a bit of a
we got
tug of war with some engine that is on the street there.
Yeah, so if you can't hear me, it's because
Yeah.
I mumble and
So
there's a truck. Should we wait? You want to take like a pause?
I guess we can pause for a second because
It's probably going to be too loud.
I think they're trying to. What is happening now is we have a huge truck that is trying to get some of their stuff off the truck. So okay, I think they're gonna get the trucks to move.
But anyway.
All right. So this is the point where we improvise a little bit. Yeah. You are checking out the Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast. With me is the artist, goes by the name Justin Alsedek. All hands on deck.
All hands on deck. I think it's a little less loud now. The truck
So we heard that
moved up a little bit.
I think it's getting time to, it might be time to switch off.
Ready? Wait,
I guess
you think
we
it's still
could,
too loud?
let's check our volume here.
Yeah. Make sure.
Alright, I think,
I know I mumble a lot, so. Did you turn off the recording?
Let's jump in.
Are you still recording?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
jump in.
You're going to do some editing before you plop this up?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
good.
do some editing.
Okay.
All right. So you're in Ocala with your wife.
Yeah, we
About
decided
to
to
have
move here because she's got her mother lives here, her nana who just turned 100 this year. So when we moved here 6-7 years ago, obviously she wasn't 100 yet, but she wanted to be near her grandparents and her mom. And this is about as far north as we were comfortable living because she's a conch, so born in Key West, not really the wintering type. And I had been in. I hadn't seen winter since 2008 when I moved to, or in 2009 when I moved down to Key West. So I was kind of getting acclimated for warmer weather too. And so this was about as far north as we could comfortably live and have some family. And so yeah, we moved here, and then I didn't really know what I was going to do for art because I had been used to working the. I think you have to keep it on because of the fridge. Oh no, you're good.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah.
All right, so wait, hold on.
Yeah. So a lot is happening. You are in Ocala. You are still doing your art.
Yeah. So when we moved to Ocala, I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do for art living. Like I said, because I was used to the boardwalk traffic of Ocean City, Maryland. Just somewhere I could step. Like if I was, here, for example, my past strategy would have been like Duval Street in Key West, which was where I was working before coming up here. They had, an influx of tourists that would come every day from the cruise ships and such. And even though they weren't, spending a ton of money, it was at least, thousands of people that would walk by every day that you could kind of try to fish, put the line in the water. There was a place to try to catch some fish, but so that, it was all right down there. So when I got here, I didn't know what I was going to do. There's no tourists. So the first year we were here, we were just kind of enjoying. We had some savings still set up, and it was a lot cheaper because we were spending like $2,000 a month on a 1-bedroom apartment in Key West, and now we had, when we moved here, $750 for a 3-bedroom house.
Oh, beautiful.
So we weren't spending nearly as much money, so we could kind of float on savings a little bit and get comfortable. I was selling a bunch of my old video games that I had, a really vintage collection, so I actually was able to do an eBay store for a little bit on that, which was really nice.
Right.
And then, but to get back into art, I actually joined the MCA, which was a big help because they had their, every so often they had the group shows, which the prompts for those would be inspiring for a theme. So I'd be like, okay, there's the theme for this. I'll paint that, and I was excited to kind of like try to meet some other artists and be seen. So I would, go all out on some of these pieces to make a splash, so to speak.
Right.
And so I was making some nice pieces for the MCA, and then I was on the art walk, and that was motivating to create new work to be seen out there. That was kind of a once a month traffic flow. There's a decent amount of people actually come out, so I was getting commission work from that, and I was getting some sales out there, which was nice. And then what I had decided to do, since I needed to figure out where to make money, I was like, well, maybe I'll try art festivals. And
yes.
So then I finally had enough work since we moved here. I was able to paint again. That was something I couldn't do when we were living in Key West or Ocean City and stuff, because I was living out of vans and on sailboats and tent camp and all kinds of stuff. So you can't really be traveling with a lot of big canvases and oil paints. I worked paper, pencil, pastels, all things that were portable and could be shipped in tubes and things around the country. So being here, we had the 3-bedroom, so I had one I turned into a studio, so I was able to paint, which was a big thing for me to be able to like explore oil painting again, because I hadn't done it for over a decade, as far as painting goes. So it was.
So where are you at now? What's next for Justin going into 2023? What's happening?
Well, we got about 3 or 4 mural jobs kind of in the pipe works. We got one that actually I'm already going into once the New Year's is over. I'm going to go back to Bellevue and work on that one. It's indoors. And then
you did one for Riley Arts Center.
Yeah, I just finished the Riley one this month, actually, at the beginning of December. I finished that one, which was awesome for getting some nice exposure out on the street. So I'm working with a guy right now, designing a concept for a couple murals for him. So he's probably a big project that I'll be working on. We'll see how we're in the design phase. So they pay for the concept, and then we'll see if we go forward with the mural afterwards. Which usually, after I design something, most people are excited to get it done. So
if people wanted to get in touch with you, what kind of social media platforms would you like to share with folks to check you out on?
I have my Instagram and my Facebook page, so you just look at Gypsy Arts.
So Gypsy Arts, that's your Instagram handle?
Gypsy Arts is my Instagram, and then I also have a page on Facebook with Gypsy Arts. But you can find most of the same content on my personal page on Facebook, because I don't really use Facebook as like a social platform as much as it's just all pretty much business for me. Like every once in a while I'll post something personal, but it's pretty much mostly just my art on there.
So you saying Justin Alsedek?
Yep, you can find me there. You'll see what I'm doing there, and you'll find events. Like I run the gallery at 8th Ave Gallery, so whenever I have events coming up for that, I always post the flyers for those events, and which are really fun. That's been an exciting change over the last 2 years. So now I've been running that gallery for almost 2 years.
So all of what you heard in terms of the social media platforms where you could reach Justin will be in the description. So don't panic. You will be able to find this great artist who is in Ocala. I want to say a big thank you to Justin for taking the time off of his busy schedule to come and chat with us and share his story, with his ukulele.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, and he's a musician too.
Oh.
Thank you very much, man. Pleasure.
no problem.
Pleasure.